and welcome back to Behind the Banthas. When last we left off, we had seen Anakin Skywalker, the nice, hopeful child, become a child murderer, wife abuser, and fascist strongman. Oh wait, no, he's not quite. He's not quite become these things yet. He's about to become all of those things. Fuck! I fucked the cold open. I fucked it. I fucked it all. Fuck!
I really thought that I should join in, but then I left it again. So fine. We'll be fine.
Listen. One of us is high on death sticks, and one of us is not, and it's up to you, the audience, to figure out which. I am your humble host, Meetra Surik, and I have with me once more our wonderful co-host, Zenna Paloe. How are you doing, Zenna?
Hi, hello. Terrible. I might marry a therapist in preparation for the next episode, so let's fucking go.
Well, as I've said, as I fucked it up in the cold open, our wonderful, nice, hopeful child is about to become a child murderer, wife abuser, and fascist strongman, which does just go to show that sometimes a girl really can have it all. Or a guy in a cybernetic power suit. The Empire is an all-inclusive fascist dictatorship, after all. So, hey, Zenna, did you know that Anakin once complimented a transgender clone trooper?
Where's this bit? Wait. Where's this bit? Where's this bit going?
I'm not kidding.
Where's this bit going?
I, according to historian E.K. Johnson, he said, quote, "The Jedi are all about transcending things. I don't think we can complain if you've transcended gender." What I think this really goes to show is that he's going to kill a bunch of children because of woke. And you know, Zenna,
we could have avoided this because of woke.
We could have avoided all of this if we just it's all because of woke.
And you know who's responsible for woke? Mon Mothma.
I did think you were going to say the products and services that support this podcast, but I thought it also might be a little bit early for an ad break. No. Senator Mothma is both the supporter of woke and the cause of
friend of the pod. Mon Mothma also responsible for several high-profile assassinations. We know you did it, Mon.
Yep, she definitely did it. Every single one of them. Take Ulma, that was her.
Every single one of them.
Absolutely. Really, what I think this also makes us remember is that truly, if we had more female Imperial drone pilots, maybe we wouldn't live under the boot of tyranny.
Or female ISB officials.
Truly, we just need more girl bosses in history. That's really
more
what we
girl
need.
Bosses in the Imperial Army.
We need more girl bosses. Less woke.
Less woke,
more girl
What happened to women in power? We can't have this future because of woke. Because of Mon Mothma.
Because of Mon Mothma personally and her ever-growing
and because of the blogspot videos of her laughing too much.
Truly. Did you hear about her holomail scandal?
Oh, which one?
Like all of them. It's her holomails. It's her holomails. It's Mon Mothma's holomails. Like that's really all we have to focus on.
That's really all we have to focus on. This is going to pivot to a Mon Mothma email podcast.
Yeah, this is a Mon Mothma email podcast now. Just ignore the fascism and remember her emails. Her holomails.
Her whole emails. Because surely we can't all be for regressive economic policies, won't we?
Yeah, exactly. Which is why woke is a problem. Anyway, to get back to the story. Anakin's personal war crimes unit, the 501st Legion, that marched then, after everything else that's happened, after he's decided to take his turn into calling himself Dark Daddy, which is truly both the cringiest and best nickname one could ever call themselves. Can
you imagine you calling yourself again, just like the stupidest fucking name? Just like Dark Mother. Okay, I think I'm gonna say that as a slur. Hello, Dark Mother.
I have been called that before by people, and I gotta say, I don't enjoy it. I do not enjoy it.
Time and place. Name names, name places.
Well, maybe I enjoy it sometimes. We'll get back to that. So, Anakin's personal war crimes unit, the 501st Legion, marches to the Jedi Temple under his orders to murder everyone inside. This included Jedi, non-Force sensitive assistants, and Coruscant citizens whose loyalties were considered questionable. This action was one of the first major events.
Pulling nothing.
Oh yeah, just they're just fucking going for everyone here. Like, there is no mercy. This action is one of the first major events of the now famous or infamous Order 66, which is the order that the order for the execution of all Jedi galaxy-wide.
Surely waging a war from one religious extremist side to another surely will go well when this one side is like maniac cops who can like move shit with their mind. Didn't you know? Didn't you also like fucking do this?
Yeah, but I mean, there's whilst listen. There's greater problem, which is when the maniac cops that can move shit with their mind decide to also be fascists. Like, there's a difference.
That's
between,
like the other one.
I know. I mean, like, the thing is that, like, I would like to say there's a difference between a cop and a fascist. But
that is
however,
highly debatable, as we have seen and we will hear. Therefore,
indeed. Well, so to continue on, the already heavily militarized Republic army quickly mobilized to murder the Jedi and destroy as many cultural relics and archives as possible. And this is why I'm not really going to refer to the Jedi from here on out as space cops, because it is also like a culture. I would hesitate to say ethnicity, really, because that's not really how we would define a Jedi, but there's certainly a very specific Jedi culture, which is targeted for eradication completely. Like, it is not really something that you can call a genocide in the sense of trying to remove literal genes, but it is. It's not really an ethnic cleansing in the sense of it's not trying to. You can't really call a Jedi an ethnicity. But it is very much a targeted cultural attack to just wipe out Jedi culture altogether. And whilst the Jedi, of course, had problems,
which is still terrible.
Yeah, which is why we'll go into some more of this as we go. So this,
like, victims of like things like this will always kind of, as a rule, have my sympathy, because it is terrible to survive massacres.
Yes.
But then again,
I'm gonna put it out that there's probably not really a button.
This is gonna be a pin. This is gonna be a pin in this, because I think we're just gonna keep like coming back to it.
Yeah, we are gonna keep coming back to this one. This is a real kind of. This is really one of the big turning points where everything just goes to shit. So
it just goes to incredible shit.
Very, very quickly.
But I'm curious, like, how Anakin was involved.
So, well, so this act is not really seen as one of war at this point, but one of explicit extermination. And it is Anakin that leads the charge on this. So, as noted by the it's noted by the very now most famous historian on this, Paloe, the entire Grand Army of the Republic was ordered to hunt down and destroy the Jedi Knights. The execution squads of this spared no one. Bodies of children and infants were found with blaster burns to skulls and torsos, and an entire room full of children as young as 5 were found dismembered or decapitated with blaster and lightsaber burns along their bodies. Yeah, it's graphic.
Like, and that's like confirmed to be, I mean, Anakin and his battalion.
Yes, that is there's
like not, where it is like indiscriminate firing in
it's not
in a room full of kids.
It's not just indiscriminate firing. Like like some of this is quite intentional as well, and we have to really assume here, because there's no other lightsaber wielder at this point in time, that it is Anakin that did this personally. Like, so
my point was like indiscriminate was like, oh, we are just like heading and we kill whoever we find, we kill.
No, this is targeted. This is very explicitly targeted towards the Jedi.
Yeah, but like I'm talking within the context of the Jedi, like whoever was there at that point, we like make sure that
they're all gone. Yeah.
Make sure they're all gone, etc., etc. And unfortunately, there were kids. Who just happened to be there.
Kids that happened to be Jedi who were specifically targeted because they were Jedi. Like this is the
that is
murder of
terrible.
children.
Like that is objectively terrible, but it is
and Anakin has also, like, from what we can see with this, given the lightsaber burns, he did this himself as well. Like he didn't just
yeah, like
send
we
in a
have to
death
assume
squad.
who fucking else has a battalion named 501 and also
No,
wields a
like,
lightsaber. 2 and 2 are
him.
not
It's
difficult
him.
to.
Like he did this personally as well. It's pretty rough. Alongside the 501st were rudimentary paramilitary organizations of quote-unquote concerned citizens. Many had been initially radicalized by the far-right group People's Inquest, a populist anti-Jedi organization with a thinly veiled Protect the Children slogan. During the early years of the war, this group appeared to have legitimate grievances with the complicated process of Jedi adoption, but by this late point in the war had been thoroughly radicalized. In the months leading up to Order 66, they featured heavily on HoloNet News, a subsidiary of the Vulpix News Corporation, and were responsible for the extremely inflammatory Jedi Watch segment. Jedi Watch would later be used as a propaganda wing of the administration, referring to Force-sensitive people as vermin to be eradicated. Most of these articles are still available on publicly accessible HoloNet archives. I did have to go, admittedly, a little bit deeper down. Like I had to go to the old HoloNet archive from, like 20 years ago, like the proper old archive stuff to find some of these articles, but like they are still there. You can still find them. And they absolutely begin off the stages of what I would certainly now call, that's genocidal rhetoric at the very least. Like, genocide is a process that it begins at the rhetoric.
Which begins at rhetoric and divisional tribal grievances or like cultural differences and grievances and.
Yes. And that
God, do we ever change? Which
No.
is just like when you were like starting that entire paragraph, I was like, do we ever fucking change?
No,
fucking
we do
Christ.
not. It just continues on, like, very
It just
explicitly.
continues.
It's a lot of, Vulpix.
Do you have like quotes from anything that was written on there, or are we just like?
Let me see if I can
or
find some
did we
of
just
them.
like genuinely not wanna fucking read this this vile shit?
Let me see if I can find some of the quotes. Like, if you give me just a second or two.
It's just like, god damn. Then again, it is also fascinating because like I remember like finding out the all of the things related with the Gorman massacre and all of the Gorman tapes, and like we know everything. We literally know so much because they would literally not shut the fuck up. We know so much because they would just talk and talk and talk and talk.
Yeah, they really. Yeah. Here we go. Right, Jedi Watch. This is from.
Okay, so this is from Jedi Watch from the HoloNet archives.
These are on the old HoloNet archives. This is from specifically HoloNet News, which, as mentioned, is a subsidiary of the Vulpix News Corporation. Like, we know Vulpix News. That's just the Imperial.
We've been new. Like they are just the
Vulpix News is. They aren't news anymore. They're just propaganda. I say anymore as if they were ever anything other than just propaganda.
Can Mon Mothma do anything about this?
I think we've all...
Famously, Mon Mothma does everything.
We've all been fucking tired of Vulpix News for fucking years. Anyway, so, okay, HoloNet News, volume 531-46. Let's see if I can pull this up here. We'll get a quote from Jedi Watch. There's definitely a few out here that are very fucking fascinating.
As like, I'm deeply fascinated by.
Here we go.
Like
this is so as I said, volume 531-46 is one of the more inflammatory ones, and this is, what this one is going after is it's not quite what I would term blood libel, which is a very common bastardized version of genocidal rhetoric, but it certainly is kind of. It's leaning towards it, and it's about the case of baby Ludi. And I'll read you the just direct quote from the story here, which is
just like lift anything from it.
3 weeks after a formal petition, the Jedi Council refused to hand over baby Ludi to her mother, Jonava Belaine. Breaking the Jedi Council's usual silence on the issue, a representative issued an explanation of the Jedi Code that forbids the return of the child to its birth parent. "We have opened the child's mind to the larger world of the Force," explained Jedi Master Coleman Trebor. "The child is awakened, and to return it to the birth parents at this stage would be far too dangerous. It is in everyone's best interest and safety for the child to remain in Jedi custody." You may remember the Baby Ludi case. It is a very messy case.
I remember this one.
Yeah. To continue, the custody drama began 6 months ago when the child was discovered in the ruins of Ord Thoden, capital of Domitry. After a quake devastated by the city, Jedi rescue workers found the child to have Force potential and took the baby girl into custody, naming her Aris Dewari. Standard Jedi procedure would have required parental consent prior to adopting the child into the Jedi Order, but the parents were missing and presumed dead. A month later, convalescing Genava Belaine was found in an outskirts town, and her concerted search for the baby, which she named Ludi, has since led her to Coruscant. With no established procedure to deal with the situation, Republic judiciary officials are scrambling to find a resolution. Already, Belaine's pleas have attracted a popular following, and her formal petition to the Jedi Council, delivered by her sector's representative, Senator Bogani Hrul, made headlines throughout the galaxy. This is when they were still a lot more vanilla. In their kind of tone.
I find it funny that you call them vanilla.
I mean, I say this because they certainly go a lot more vehemently. This is when they're still trying to maintain a degree of respectability politics and maintain a degree the veneer of respectability, but they later go really, really hard on this. So they also have opinions from the street. Which just includes random people they've found to interview about this, but the opinions from the street thing starts to veer more and more towards opinions of obviously imperial citizens that have swallowed the Kool-Aid. At this point,
or paid actors. Let's
a lot
really
of
not
paid
forget
actors here. Yeah, that is an absolute tactic that they use.
This is how public consensus is built. Nothing that I don't have anything against people being free to express their opinions, but there's just this interesting interplay of how this is weaponized.
Yeah.
As
so they you do see
fascist rhetoric.
Yes, and you see some people amongst the opinion pieces here. One is just, why is this still making news? The fucking Republic is tearing itself apart, and we're talking about a snot-nosed brat and its whining mother. I think that this is passed beyond a simple custody dispute, and those involved are just using it to push their own agendas, using the poor woman as a political tool. You have various people with their various nuances, but over time, you start to see Jedi Watch become a lot more aggressive. The Baby Ludi case is one of the first ones that really makes the news, but they really start to be a lot more aggressively anti-Jedi and aggressively what would then become pro-imperial doctrine. So
yeah, it's even during beyond that, it's oh, I didn't know this somewhat famous event would dictate politics as we know it.
Yeah. This was used just very much as the tinderbox, but Jedi Watch at this point is saying, "Oh, look at the Jedi are doing controversial things." Right? Yeah,
it's video game gate. It's when you have
yes, it's absolutely fucking. It's video game gate shit. It very much on that trajectory.
It's wow, I didn't expect this random, sometimes seemingly stupid discussion to probably dictate modern politics and how we approach outrage.
Yeah.
Wow, what a moment in time.
So you might know Jedi Watch now is a widely it's a mostly opinion pieces now, but widely what Jedi Watch now does is it just promotes witch hunts on random outside worlds. It's very much a Force sensitive person has been spotted in whichever system that they think they've been spotted in, and it just encourages people to form mobs and go and hunt Jedi personally. It's a way of allowing the Inquisition to get its work done without them ever actually having to do the work themselves. It's extremely nice. Yeah, they knew what they were doing years and years before it became as bad as it is now. I have had to dodge them so many times.
I think both me and you have had to dodge them in several cases. I think our most memorable one was the Spice incident, the Spice story time.
Yeah, we probably can't talk about that one on public radio. At least not this time. Yeah.
Not this time, but one day when Mon Mothma will be Chancellor.
We can only dream of a time when
We
all
can
spice
only
is
dream of
fully legalized
of
for everyone everywhere. So,
oof.
yeah. Many of those who participated in the murder of Jedi and the destruction of their cultural artifacts would subsequently form the Commission for the Preservation of the New Order, which is commonly abbreviated to COMPNOR. You may well have heard of COMPNOR. They're the they're the people.
Yes.
Like, COMPNOR are that's the early iteration of a lot of those guys would become ISB, and you know
This
the guys.
is
These are the ISB guys.
These are proto ISB people.
Proto ISB
damn.
people, and it's the fucking lowest common denominator ISB people that just get paid a massive bonus, buy a bunch of tactical gear, and go and break into random poor people's houses to try and deport them out of the Republic. That's their shit. Like, fuck them.
God damn, what an event. You
fuck
get
these people. I mean, that's kind of what they
fuck
begin with.
these people.
And eventually they go up to they cooperate with the Inquisition. They cooperate significantly with what becomes the ISB. COMPNOR's subdivisions would eventually include Comp Force, now known almost exclusively for their Immigration and Customs Enforcement division that acts to bolster the administration's core world supremacist ideology. Other subdivisions would merge with the Republic internal surveillance operations and form the now infamous ISB. So yeah, that's where they go.
God damn, what an infamous cast of bastards.
Yeah.
It's like you really get, it's like, wow. As I said, like I had a hunch that it would go this way. And this is where like Krennic becomes Krennic and like Dedramiro, like Dedramiro's spectacular fuck up.
Yeah.
That's where she comes in. And this is like this random event happening, people getting galvanized and wow, what an event. I did not know that it was this event that would like catalyze this other thing that would catalyze this other thing.
Order 66 is really, like, if you really want to kind of say this is the exact turning point, that is the exact turning point. That's the really
yes, but Order 66 is like the militarization, and that is quite terrible.
Well,
what is
Order
fascinating
66,
is like
that's the night of murdered Jedi. That's the night of broken.
Yeah, that's the night of murdered Jedi. That's the night of red, famously, and like I understand that, but I'm fascinated at these moments of culture that like spring around it, and like how people like either try to justify to themselves or how kind of a larger culture begins to be like, well, this is fine, right?
Yeah, like to be clear, like,
and then there is this normalization effect, and so on.
The Baby Ludi case and things like it had been going for like quite some number of years before Order 66 happens. But like during the process of the war, people are becoming like distrusting the Jedi more and more, and there are good reasons for that distrust. But a lot of that is actively stoked by the propaganda machine to become what we now know.
Yeah, then you actually have like a problem where it's like, is there a critique of the Jedi not lining within fascism?
There is,
and this,
and that it becomes very fucking hard, and it's why I mean honestly. I have my ears pricked up for any critiques of the Jedi that don't really come from those who lived through that shit. Like, I mean, like, I trust you, obviously, but like, there's plenty of people that I'm just like,
But like, there's a difference between like me, because like we both kind of did break multiple scandals that were.
We've been involved in this shit, obviously.
We've been involved in this shit for a bit, but
people that
then again,
people that are willing to critique the Jedi from the perspective of where the rebellion now is, I trust a lot more than anyone that's critiquing the Jedi from a non.
I'm within the course, like the core electoral.
Like if you're within the core world politics, like people are criticizing from there, they're often just regurgitating very, very tired propaganda talking points that have been going on for decades at this point. To continue on, there are a few weird conspiracies out there about the murder of the Jedi Order, particularly ones around inhibitor chips and brainwashing, and there's some real Theta Anon wildcard shit that suggests that clone troopers all had pre-programmed microchips in their brains, and this is what caused them to suddenly flip their loyalties and murder all the Jedi at a moment's notice. It's very... I don't really know what to feel about that one. I've never seen any evidence that really points to that being a thing, but if there was, I imagine it would also be very much hush-hush by the Imperial machine. Like, the clone troopers have nearly all been entirely retired, and it's rare to see one still living. Most of them were liquidated shortly after the formation of the Galactic Empire.
What do you mean liquidated? What do you mean?
Their lifespans were never particularly long. Most of their units were dissolved, and many of them died of essentially natural causes. But they were. Mm-hmm. It's not clear how many were actively murdered on the Empire's instruction. It's probably at least a few.
Oh God!
It's as always with these things, like the people that the first generation.
And like, do we actually like have data on stuff like that? Because
there's almost nothing that we can definitively
are we just like
prove
sure that happened?
Not beyond anecdote and conjecture.
Hey, this happened.
Yeah, like that. This is really like mostly anecdotal. I don't have a lot of actual definitive proofs on this one, which is why I don't.
But
really
God, imagine you are handing out one of the most horrific orders, like to start a damn near religious war, and then the same people who go out and carry those.
So
yeah, and then. And just like the same people who are your bootlickers who go out and actually like do the stuff, just get rid of them because you are
they become inconvenient. Like that's very common amongst anti-democratic movements. Is that the original people that lay the groundwork are very quickly. Well, they don't really make their retirement. You know that's what you see multiple times throughout history, but there are reporters like Katie Lucas that you may be familiar with that have noticed that many of these troopers, they did absolutely have biochips installed in their brains, and this may have had some effect on their capacity for loyalty or independent action. And this is very much the case for like the specific, like the elite of the clone troopers, right? That is part of how they were built. But this definitely is not the case for everyone that is involved in Order 66. There's plenty of non-clone Republic militias, there's plenty of rank and file, there's plenty of high-ranking military admirals, there's the majority of the Senate. There are a lot of people that absolutely condoned and actively supported Order 66, which, you know, I don't think that we can really say...
That says a lot more
it's
about us and the culture that like...
Yeah. Like, it's
people have built and then...
I think the brainwashing argument is a very convenient way to wash one's hands of what is very clearly a act of ethnic cleansing or, you know, cultural cleansing. I don't really know what the correct term is for this, but, you know, a genocide adjacent act. One report from an anonymous clone trooper, likely Commander Apo, said, "Did we have doubts? Any private traitorous thoughts? Perhaps, but no one said a word. Not when Order 66 came down. Not when we marched up the Jedi Temple, and certainly not with Lord Vader leading the assault. Not a word." And I think that, again, that really kind of just shows how this was thought of at the time. This is very much we are loyal to these commanding officers and we are loyal to the ideals of the Republic. And at the moment, the Republic, which would later become the Empire, the Republic is anti-Jedi, so we follow the party line. That is very common.
Yeah, they say this and we say we follow.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where will this go wrong?
It's already gone wrong, you know. So for people like Wilhuff Tarkin,
I expect more.
Oh God, yes. So force fucking it goes bad. So for people like Wilhuff Tarkin, Wolf Yularen, Mas Ameda, and Sheevy Palps himself, the Jedi were a very easy minority group to direct public hate towards. They are an enemy that is both considered pathetic and laughable, yet paradoxically powerful and scary. They provided easy distraction and galvanized public opinion on Palpatine as a valid strongman who could protect the galaxy from all threats, both internal and external. Skywalker, too, was regarded as a hero for his actions to eliminate the quote-unquote Jedi threat, even if most of the celebration of this act of murder was retroactive propaganda. Shortly after this, he embarked on a journey to a mining colony on Mustafar where the leadership of the separatist forces had gathered in secret. How Skywalker knew the location of the secret meeting is remarkably unclear, prompting many to speculate that Palpatine himself had successfully planted a mole among their ranks through the latter half of the war. Exactly who that mole was has never yet been revealed, and is unlikely to ever be, as upon his arrival, Skywalker, now thoroughly adopting the name of Vader, slaughtered the entire group. Curiously, according to the account of one local mining foreman, the leadership were almost completely unguarded and initially appeared to welcome Vader. Quote, "They seemed to be expecting him. None of them thought anything was strange till he turned on the saber." Much speculation as to what the hell this could have meant has abounded ever since, including the theory that the entire separatist leadership was being played for fools and simply disposed of when no longer useful. But the reality is that we simply don't know, and all of this relies on the account of the one surviving eyewitness. And that's pretty weird, you know? The entirety of the leadership cast of the main opposition during a galactic-spanning war all just gathered in one place and were all killed in one fell swoop. It's...
See, in the propagandized version... Yeah, in the propagandized version, like, this was obviously very different. Like,
well, it's...
You know, we all saw the final version of the propaganda. Like, fuck it. Like, yeah. we all did. Unfortunately, and...
The dramatization does certainly make it very, very simple. And...
Yes.
There is a degree to which it could maybe be that simple. Like, I'm not gonna say that that's impossible. Like, it's very much a plausible, but it does. It's very weird. The whole thing is really
very weird.
Odd.
And then, like, we look at like what is currently happening and like how the separatist forces have like fucking post embargoes upon embargoes on the Trade Federation and stuff like that, and then this happens.
Yeah, like it's all.
There has got to be something that happened, like, regarding like some deal gone awry. There's had to have been some collaboration from like previous like sabotage missions, or just like very clearly undermining of certain democratic processes, and
it's all really odd.
Maybe just something like went really bad.
Either way, what we can really assume here is that Anakin he's managed to kill them all. He's really on a good old murder spree here. He's racking up that kill count. He
is like, if we go with that theory, this is no longer, I think, a person.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is the actions of a person who is lashing out and is trying to desperately prove like that he believes in something.
I will still remind you that he's 22.
Fucking Christ.
Yep. The account of the foreman continues to detail that shortly after this, a J-type Nabooian scar skiff arrived on the facility, where a heavily pregnant woman and a second Jedi with a beard exited the ship and spoke to Skywalker. Within a few minutes of conversation, Skywalker reportedly became extremely emotionally distressed and turned violent, choking the woman until she collapsed, and then attacked the other Jedi. The subsequent duel destroyed most of the facility.
Was the woman?
I can only assume that's
Padme.
Was the... I assume that's Padme. Like, I don't know who else would have approached him at this point like that. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me. And I assume that's also Obi-Wan.
Fuck.
Yeah. Like I said.
Fuck.
Yeah. So the subsequent duel destroyed most of the facility, costing
the propaganda movies were real?
They probably were right on this one. The facility was destroyed.
No fucking way. No fucking way.
They probably were. Like, we don't.
Oh God.
There's still a lot that we don't know, because pretty much everyone that was there, like, they've all had hush money since. They've all fucking escaped. Like, none of them are gonna fucking speak publicly against the Empire, especially because they were all working for the one mining corporation in that area, which is the Clegger Mining Corporation.
It's Clegger, of course.
Clegger doesn't pay well. Clegger also went bankrupt immediately after this, so, like, if you're... No one is
Clegger, wait, Clegger went bankrupt, or was Clegger just... like, seized by the Empire? Because it's like...
Remarkably
it's like up there. It's like up there. Damn, so like everything
the public
after
records
Order
of Clego got
66 that
purged,
like,
like everything goes really like
Yeah,
it's
everything.
rapid. Like they were
So, like,
waiting in the wings to
damn.
do this. That like yeah. Project 66 is what happens just after Order 66. And like they had been preparing for
Yeah.
this for
So they have
years.
Okay. Cool.
So,
Fuck.
as I was saying, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to assume that this was Padme and Obi-Wan, given that within days of this encounter, Padme is reported dead and Kenobi goes missing. There is zero trace of him. Like
Fuck.
yeah. Quite why Anakin murdered his wife is anyone's guess, especially considering how obsessive he previously was about buying her immortality from Palpatine. But I mean, how many fucking bastard fash cops murder their wives? You know, like that's it's never about her well-being. It's never about protecting her. It's just about him exerting control. This really is
And just also this like like
it's really
larger than life
uncommon.
crusade. Larger than life crusade that like these fucking stupid people keep like waging to justify
You have
beliefs
to have a grand
that are not
narrative.
really beliefs.
It's the way
Beliefs
of constructing a grand narrative to pretend that they're the really heroes about something that they just fucking aren't. It's just and what do we get out of this? We get a dead woman. We get a dead woman.
We just get a dead woman.
We get a dead. This This really isn't uncommon amongst the far right. There are estimates of domestic abuse amongst Imperial law enforcement that range from 20% to a pretty staggering 40%. So, you know,
What?
40% of Imperial law enforcement abuse their spouses. That's some people say that those figures are slightly exaggerated, but like it's pretty
bad.
fucking
I know.
high. Like even 20% is high.
20% is like
Yeah, 1 in 5 to 2 in 5 are just straight up abusers. Now, given the general levels of paranoia and the constant lessons that Anakin has internalized to meet any problem with violence, it is very hard to believe that Skywalker was anything other than a domestic abuser who murdered his spouse when he felt his life was spiraling out of his own control. Whether this trigger was a suspected affair, that this has been an issue that he's raised before in the relationship.
Yeah, and they never probably made it right between them.
Or whether there was a threat to leave him after his turn to very extreme fascism. Whatever.
Which, like, I must assume that, like, that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
They find him, and she is with was it Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
And then she probably is giving him the
ultimatum and the breakup, which
not
is
the ultimatum, but like the "I'm leaving you, never contact me," you know, kind of rule. But they didn't think he would strike back, and
yeah, I mean that is the most dangerous time within abusive relationships is that immediate point of leaving. When someone works up the courage to leave, like that takes a long ass while, and it's for a valid reason. The people that choose to leave abusive relationships, they're doing something quite scary, and that can be really dangerous. And the things that increase that level of danger are, of course, like, well, pregnancy. That's one of the recognized risky times. It all adds up in a way that's
especially pregnancy.
It adds up in a way that is depressingly mundane and
mundane and depressingly real
and depressingly common. Like the only reason that this is notable in any way is just because Anakin is the big war hero strongman that we know him to now be. Like this, as harrowing as it is kind of not
entirely predictable.
It's predictable. I don't want to say that it's not notable.
Like, who would have fucking thought? Who would have fucking thought that taking a kid who was born in probably like
pretty
worse conditions that
poverty.
Most people
like,
realize,
really nasty, and slavery.
giving him zero political extremism education in the Jedi Academy.
None, but yeah.
Imagine if his childhood affected him in any way, right?
As he famously said, his childhood never affected him.
His childhood never affected him, famously. Oh, God.
So, following this duel, the body of Kenobi was never recovered. Skywalker was badly wounded and burned once the lava mine repulsor fields failed, And his very burned body was then recovered by Palpatine personally and taken to Coruscant for medical attention. Since then, Skywalker, or Vader as he called himself, has never shown his face, leading many to speculate that he was horribly disfigured during the fighting. So, murdered some kids, murdered his pregnant wife, began galactic fascism. Great guy all around. How are we feeling about this one, Zenna? How are we fucking feeling?
Do you know who also doesn't murder kids?
Or does murder kids? You know, we can't
Or does
really,
murder kids, depending.
We can never truly be sure. The products and services that support this podcast.
They definitely don't ever murder children.
And they definitely
don't hunt them for sport.
No, that never happened. Definitely never happened. With Zerka Prime Big Deal Days coming this Santax Day, we are on the verge of greatness. We are this close to providing peace and security to your shopping experience. Shop now for 40% off Zerka Prime deals. And we're back. So there are a few unanswered questions still about what happened after Anakin was taken from Mustafar. The Nabooian starship appears to exit known Republic space. Padme's body was left on Naboo several days later. Multiple remaining Jedi are noted to have vanished without a trace, either dead or MIA. Kenobi becomes untraceable. It's all really messy, and pretty much all the details are just mostly unclear. This also marks the end of Skywalker's personal drama too, because from this point on, he's just entirely Palpatine's man and no one else's. And like, it's got a really fucking sad existence at this point. Like, imagine going from all this to then just being the loyal guard dog to the galaxy's least sober dictator. Like, you've gone from being like a war hero, like a general war hero,
decorated about shit,
properly decorated. Like you've gone from like, I won glorious victory today and saved lives, countless lives, to now I'm going to be policing people that are saying mean things about Chief fucking Palpatine on X, the Everything Hollow app. Like, imagine that fucking downfall. Like, fucking truly pathetic. But this is the thing, though, is that he was always pathetic, and I think that's what we can really see from his personal life, is that despite how high up he is held in esteem as a war hero, he is extremely pathetic in most of his interactions.
This like deeply traumatized kid.
This traumatized kid that is given far too much power far too quickly, that doesn't really know what the fuck to do with any of it, and fucks his entire life up by age 22. And he's now... he's now
just like a loyal guard dog of the Empire. Like... And
he's just stuck with that. That's all he can now do. It's really fucking... It's very sad. Like, truly.
It's honestly very sad, but also it is also an entirely too common story of what happens, because like... You look at the tough people, and then you look at the purely bureaucrats who believe that this is great for their or better for their career, right?
Yeah, the Krennics.
And we can the Krennics and the Dedras.
Yeah, the Dedras. Like, yeah. And they probably get a better deal out of it than Anakin ever does. It must be said, because Anakin, oof.
Spending time in that room with Palpatine. Goddamn, the smell of that room must have been incredible. Incredible smell. Could you believe that?
Anakin, can you smell the blue milk, Anakin? I think Anakin, it's fine.
Anakin, do you also suck toes for breakfast?
I mean, listen.
Do you suck toes for breakfast, Meetra?
I've been advised by my legal team that I don't have to comment on that one. I don't really know what appropriate response there could possibly be to a question like that, other than just, next question. So
you're not denying that, esteemed former Jedi Knight?
Okay, I am gonna deny that. Like, feet are not my kink. I've got various kinks. Feet, they're not one of them. That's not one of.
Oh, sure. The people of the lovely people of the podcast would love to know what.
No, they're not getting to know my deepest, darkest, most shameful secrets, nor any of the force powers that I've used for nefarious purposes.
Like
So,
what?
you're not gonna find that
Names.
out. You're not gonna fucking find that out.
Name places.
Fuck you. A brief note before we continue.
Sure.
Palpatine's increasingly erratic behavior. Yeah, fuck you. Palpatine's increasing erratic behavior while in charge of the fuck me. All right, fuck it, you won. You won that one. I'll give you that. Well done. Are you happy now? Fuck me.
I said I will, but sure.
Palpatine's increasingly erratic behavior while in charge of the administration was generally not known to most, but he was just as much of a pathetic loser as Vader, if not significantly more so. We'll maybe do an episode or two about him at some point in the future, who knows, but still, suffice to say, a long history of increasingly poor decisions and substance abuse led him to becoming the good old Chibi, the W stands for war crimes, or whiskey, Palpatine. That we know today. The claims that his facial appearance was scarred by the Jedi attacking him is very clearly untrue. Lightsabers don't make your face melt. That particularly only... like, if you really want something that'll make your face melt, like Coaxium Station Crocodile or Yoda's personal stash of Teresian moonshine, like those things will melt your face. It's
God.
Not, like that's the only stuff that is known to humankind that could possibly do
Would
that.
you take your chances with like Yoda's moonshine stash?
No. Not remotely. That is actual suicide.
Do you think like you would start smelling the seventh dimension?
Like fucking if Yoda made Slivovitya, I would still not drink it. So, the identity of Palpatine's scary guard dog.
Afraid you must be not, comrade. Moonshine this is.
Moonshine this is. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to not having a good time, you fucking coward. Drink it, bitch.
Moonshine leads to happiness.
Fucking Slivovitya does not lead to happiness. I have never had a happy time with Slivovitya. Maybe you disagree.
I bet you haven't.
Maybe you can show me.
I mean, you were part of the light bulb story where like I got ridiculously drunk and we had a light bulb fight in the street, but like you were kind of in your sober girl era, which like I respect.
I was doing my best. And my best at that point was not very good, but, you know, we live and we learn.
Also stealing light bulbs and fighting in the street with me.
I just wanted to relive the good old days. I also, smashing fluorescent light bulbs is just very fun. Conceptually.
Sure.
Yeah. The identity of Palpatine's scary guard dog being former general-turned-villain Anakin Skywalker was carefully hidden for almost 2 decades, and only came to light after multiple former members of the 501st defected against the Imperial regime. It is assumed that this was to prevent Vader's pristine image as a scary and stoical figure being tarnished from the image of the emotionally unstable 22-year-old with a temper tantrum that fucked the galaxy. Though even after this knowledge became more public, it did little to harm Vader's image as a strongman leader. I mean, you know, when Imperial officers have been accused of various crimes, including rape, radical Imperial defenders immediately hopped on social media to proclaim that Vader wouldn't approve of that sort of thing as a reason to deny, you know, such things ever happening. People are really fucking weird. There's a lot of kind of very weird views of Vader as this kind of, even though he's generally the strongman, but he's a stoical and noble figure that would never do anything bad. This is the same guy that murdered his pregnant wife. Like,
we gotta remember, this is like the same dude.
These people are just fucking morons. Like whoever's posting that shit, just fucking stop, you know?
Are these like Imperial bots, like social media bots?
I some of them are, but honestly I think some of them are just unironic Imperial fanboys. Like they just really want to suck Imperial cock, and you know, I would say good on them, but they deserve a blaster to the skull, to be quite fucking frank. As a newly appointed Imperial enforcer during the birthday dinner, sucking dick and cock. And they did it.
Sucking dick and cock?
How they did it at your birthday dinner.
Sucking dick and cock. And they did it at my birthday dinner.
We really need to find you a better vocal stem. So, as a newly appointed Imperial enforcer, Vader lacked a formal place in the Imperial military, yet he assumed command in much the same way that he had before in the 501st, which quickly named themselves, quote, Vader's Fist. The Legion quickly got to work providing quote-unquote galactic security, mostly consisting of brutal repression of worlds showing wavering loyalty to the Imperial core. One notable example was that of Ryloth. As noted by reporter Stephen Melching, the Twi'lek homeworld Ryloth had previously fought against the Separatists for its liberation, eventually allying with Republic forces despite extreme wariness on behalf of its native Twi'lek population. Any hopes of liberation were short-lived, however, as Republic Imperial control became intense and hostile, prompting many to pick up their weapons again. Cham Syndulla, a notable revolutionary figure, was involved in early armed resistance against Imperial forces, and later told journalists that he personally witnessed Vader arrest and execute large numbers of Twi'lek partisans. Vader's own troops were no less bloodthirsty, gunning down entire villages with the intent of leaving no witnesses. Imperial reporting on these measures stated that this was to prevent armed terrorist groups murdering Imperial military personnel, and that the regime's cluster bombing of Ryloth's jungles and smaller villages were all against valid military targets with minimal civilian casualties. Conservative estimates of one region assumed at least 10,000 dead, though fewer than 800 weapons were ever actually found. Among the dead were pregnant women and children. Historian Paul Kemp, in a biography of one resistance girl named Drua, stated, quote, After the village witnessed a battle between Imperial forces and the Three Ryloth movement, the Emperor commanded Vader to kill every last villager, which included Druer, her grandfather, Mala, the pregnant Nerea, and Narm, to which Vader obliged. These were all people from her village. Like, these are all civilians, right? Like, the thing that I kind of have to bear, like I've been bearing in mind this entire way, is like if you have to leave no witnesses, then you know what you're doing is a crime.
Yeah, like this, that we have no illusions, and what you've said is like the military operation you've described is just like eliminating grid squares.
Absolutely,
on a map,
that was all they were doing. Like they cluster bombed grid squares. Like, and why did they do this? No discernibly good
because
reason.
You always famously can just bomb your problems away by eliminating grid squares on a map,
which is
because of course that won't completely terrorize a population and give you a very, very strong anti-resistance movement,
like
right?
Anti-imperial sentiment.
Surely that will not lead to more civil unrest, right?
See, that's the way that you have to bear in mind the way that these people think, and like this is, I think, what we've seen from Vader this whole time, and arguably now from Palpatine, is
you also tried to humanize them, but like you cannot understand how monstrous they are, how utterly stupid and monstrous and pathetic they are.
Like at this point, it's these clearly, I mean, I would say he's deranged, but I think that takes away the responsibility that he clearly has. But like you see him as a blunt force war leader at this point. Like his entire MO is just there is a problem, we bomb it away. When all you have is a hammer, every problem is a nail, right? And all Vader is known is
that kind
war.
Of analogy.
Yeah, like all Vader is known as war. All he does is violence. That's all he has known his entire life. I do.
Yeah, we cannot keep reiterating this because it's so relevant.
Like, it's
constantly.
Yeah. His childhood never affected him. Like it's just it's brutal. But this is also like this is part of Sith and fascist doctrine, right? And Sith and fascist doctrine are just, they're interchangeable. It's the same fucking thing. Like one is just, the slightly more esoteric version of the other. Just because you wear dark robes and sing in a fucking dark choir underneath a fucking church somewhere and call yourself the Thule fucking Sith society, like it doesn't make you, like that doesn't make it any fucking different. Like they're just fascists, and fascists are blunt. They don't have any understanding of anything beyond fix problem by blunt and brutal force and blunt and brutal domination, and that's all you get. And that's what they did here, and it was just
and that's what they did here. Yeah.
Now, this isn't to dismiss...
Famously didn't come to bite them back in the ass.
Yeah, like, I've focused on Ryloth here, and that this isn't really to dismiss the many, many other campaigns of Imperial core domination. Like, there's the conflict on Mon Calamari, there's the failed Tela Rebellion, and, like, each of these has very brutal reprisals from the Empire. But, like, at this point, there are simply far too many individual conflicts that Vader is directly involved with at its head to cover them all. Like, all of them play out pretty much the same as the Ryloth one. They all end up with a lot of dead women and children.
And would you say that, like, this is where the pattern got started?
I mean, I think the pattern was started with Order 66, honestly. Because the pattern is just, what do? Wipe out everything there. Just go in, murder everything, indiscriminate firing upon absolutely everyone. Like you're saying, like, you just destroy everything in an area and... rinse and repeat. Wipe the slate clean,
and carry on.
And then you can, and then clearly, then with a clean slate, you can then just put, Imperial colonization there and everything will clearly be fine. It's this desire for cleansing of any opposing forces, anyone that would act any different for you, and replacing them with Imperial core loyalists who, generally speaking, tend to be human, right? Like, this is a very human supremacy movement alongside it. That's an undercurrent. It's not their biggest MO, but it's certainly an undercurrent that is there the whole way. I mean, yeah, man just really likes child murder. That's just likes to eradicate everything he can. It's fucking depressing. So, despite all of this, Vader is noted to be extremely popular with rank and file recruits for his bloodthirst and his insistence on leading from the front, placing him directly in the midst of most of the worst war crimes of the Imperial core. However, he proved markedly less popular with Imperial officers, mainly for the same bloodthirst, and arguably an increasing level of paranoia. One reporter, Charles Sewell, notes that Vader had a habit of brutality, executing senior officers of his own side in a fit of seeming paranoia after a failed assassination attempt. Quote, Vader instituted a new rule. For every assassination attempt he survived, and he warned them that he would always survive, 5 officers chosen at random would be executed. He instantly executed 5 designated officers before departing, leaving the remaining officers stunned and afraid. With his position in the hierarchy established, Vader did not need to hold an official military rank. Instead, he acted as the de facto commander-in-chief of the Imperial military. And...
what the fuck?
Yeah,
like... What the fuck? Imagine you're just like this extremely competent dude. Like, even that's a bar. That's a sentence.
Yeah.
You go to these, like, you're just like, finally, I have made it into this big bad boys club. My career's gonna go off. And then you just see this fucking dude.
And he just fucking murks you, yep. Like, fascists don't
just because, like,
care.
imagine you wore the wrong socks.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, is that fascism will always eat its own. It always needs a victim. That's the way these people work. In order for domination to work, you need someone to dominate. And, like, as far as I can see here, like, this is just a temper tantrum, right? Like, this is just Vader can't kill the assassins. He doesn't have access to the assassins. He's just gonna kill anyone that he likes. And it's so...
How many assassinations does, like, he serve? Do we know how, like, many assassinations he does end up surviving? Or is that just, like, something multiple. That we just don't know?
We don't know for sure. Like, there's probably multiple, but, like, who's going to publish that information? You know, like, who's going to
fucking publish that information?
He was going to even document that, because we know at least a handful, but, like, very quickly, everyone's just fucking afraid of him. So they don't fucking say... And no one's going to try... Like, everyone's trying to not piss him off. And I'm fairly sure that writing down that, oh no, another assassin tried to come for the big guy is a way of putting your head up out of the parapet and pissing him off. Like, people don't write that shit down. The kind of funny thing about this, though... I say funny. I mean...
Really depressing, you mean, Meetra?
No, actually, I do think it's like genuinely genuinely actually mirthful funny because it involves
What are
fascists
you
dying.
gonna say?
The consistent policy of purging senior staff members is very likely what cripples the Imperial Corps and its ability to wage a competent war. Like, thank you, Anakin. Thank you,
Comrade Anakin.
Comrade
Thank
Anakin,
you.
coming in here with the
Comrade
assistance for the
Anakin
rebellion.
Coming
Absolutely.
in with the purging of all high-ranking Imperial officers. Goddamn.
Like this constant
Thank you, Comrade
purging
Anakin.
of Imperial officers around him is something I was very much against.
Do you think they just made bingo cards to survive this fucking shit?
I don't see any other way you can get through that with your sanity intact. Like, I don't know who the fuck would want to be an Imperial general when you have this absolutely just rabid dog.
Monstrous.
And but this is the thing, is that he also wants to seem like he's monstrous, and he wants to seem like he's this big, scary guy. And to be clear, yeah, he is. He is a scary guy. He could kill you quite straightforwardly. He can do that. He does have the brutal raw power to do so. But on an emotional level, this is a toddler throwing a temper tantrum, you know? This is just dumb.
A 10-year-old.
Yeah. I would expect this from a child. I would expect this from an emotionally dysregulated child or teenager. And realistically, that's probably where his emotional growth was about stunted towards, you know? So
I wouldn't be surprised, but goddamn.
This constant purging of Imperial officers around him was something that was very much against usual Imperial policy and was a source of tension between Vader and Palpatine. A report by journalist John Jackson Miller stated that, following the execution of naval officer Paloe, Palpatine reprimanded Vader severely. Killing someone despite not being ordered to do so appeared to show internal weakness in the regime, and to Palpatine, this inconsistency is a display of weakness, and weaknesses, that's anathema. You can't be having that. Vader argued that his methods were quote-unquote more efficient. The pair failed to come to any agreement over this. So, I just want you to picture the scene that these two, drunko McFuck Palpatine and...
Drunken Palpatine
Palpatine and
emotionally
unstable Vader
is going at it.
They're just fucking having this bickering fight on the bridge of a starship whilst a bunch of officers have to unceremoniously remove a guy's corpse whilst their two leaders are arguing.
Two drunken assholes Vader.
I am fairly sure at this point neither of them are sober. It's just fucking nuts.
Fuck, can you imagine the arguments? No, you.
It's fucking absurd. This is why I think we are clearly winning the war at this point. These guys are fucking it. They are absurd idiots.
We don't talk about that. We're gonna have to bleep that out. We're gonna have to bleep that out.
We were never on Hoth.
We can talk about. We were never on Hoth. We can talk about how Mon Mothma is responsible for all of the assassinations.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Base Mon.
Thank you, Based Mon. Please subscribe to the podcast, Mon. We like you.
We love you. You're incredible. We love you. This atmosphere.
You are totally not responsible for a lot of assassinations, Mon.
And more than a few queer awakenings. This atmosphere of
oh sure.
Yeah. I'm meaning you. Fuck you.
Who was your queer awakening, Meetra?
Who was my queer awakening? That's a very good question. I mean, the problematic answer to this is that she did try and successfully managed to get me exiled from the Jedi. So she's probably listening to this podcast. I'm not gonna lie. She really fucking hates me. We love.
Oh.
Yeah, we love drama. We love drama. If you're listening, hi.
Bastards episode incoming.
Oh boy. I don't bear you any ill will at all. Please get better. Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to say?
She will never get better. She will never get better. Just stop listening to Sith holocrons. Stop. If you are listening to this, stop listening to Sith holocrons. Please get help.
Does she also experience repressed homoerotic desire.
Do you mean in general, or for like the oceans of Mon Calamari, or like what? I mean,
In general.
we all experience repressed homoerotic desire for the oceans of Mon Calamari. Like, have you seen them? They are gorgeous.
Yes, I have seen them.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Did you?
I think we were there.
Did you remain intact after that? Did your sanity and your libido remain intact, or were they just thoroughly?
No.
No. I didn't think so. I didn't think so. So
I need to calm down.
do you need a moment? Do you need a
I need to
hashtag
calm
fucking
down.
moment?
I need a hashtag moment and a moment. So annoying.
I love your face right now. I love how off-put you look by that. Glorious,
I look
gorgeous.
off-put.
I know.
You're
I
just
know.
like
You've got...
I keep annoying this girl, so she like has the crinkle here.
Yeah.
You can usually like tell how annoyed I am by this like crinkle I have here.
It's quite. Yeah, exactly like that face you're doing right now. That's good. It's good shit. Anyway. So, this atmosphere of escalating paranoia amongst the Imperial administration, combined with brutality, was endemic throughout their entire apparatus, alongside the usual brown-nosing careerism of their middle management. In an effort to prevent leaks of any major state secrets, notably the weapons of planetary destruction that were being created under the guise of an energy initiative. Yes, this is where you leaked that story. Thank you very much for that. Both Palpatine and Vader begin ordering widespread wiretapping of anyone they deem subversive. And, if you remember Sheev's face slowly melting off as he's constantly fucking hammered or hungover, you'll know that he considers everyone subversive. So he's just fucking, this is where he decides that wiretapping everyone is a great idea.
So like we have to give a little bit of context of like how I somehow slot into this story. We have to like keep in mind that like this is a point in the time of my life where like I gave up on doing any like regular journalism after being like trying a bit of acting, and then I was trying a bit of acting.
Listen,
we all know the suit. We all know the suit. We all saw the suit.
I want to touch the suit. I really just want to know what it was like. I just want to know where the I just want to feel that synthetic skin.
Feel the zhuzh.
The zhuzh. I feel that zhuzh. Just squeeze it. I'm glad that we can all agree on this. Please continue.
I've never felt more weirdly desired in my life than the moment and I had that suit. Never mind, that was an interesting experience.
Like by specifically or just in general?
Both.
Cool. Good to know.
Cool.
Okay. Are we?
I think we're keeping that. I think we're gonna keep.
Okay, that's one of the few ones that we're not gonna have to censor out in post. Okay, cool.
Because it's like this is like not. It can be taken either way.
Please continue.
I need to like we need to stop doing that, or like people will figure that one out.
I think it's too late. I think people have already listened. If anyone's been paying half attention, I think this has already been very fucking apparent. Listen.
I'm listening. I think
I'm listening.
Did say anything?
No, not yet said anything. So, with that wonderful mental image of these two drunk bastards just arguing over a guy's corpse, I think that's probably where we'll leave off our sordid tale for today. Thank you all for listening. Have you got anything you'd like to plug, Zenna?
Well, right now, not really.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is you might all know me from my reporting regarding the gore tapes and regarding many other things.
Yeah.
On the ground coverage of Gorman massacre victims, etc., etc.
We're gonna work
it out. So like I don't. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're like we're like deep in fucking shit now. So
yeah. Well, if you enjoyed this, please consider continuing on for the next and final episode. At least I hope it's the final fucking episode
At least we hope it's the final fucking episode. Jesus Christ.
The thing about this guy is like it's really easy to just find more shit on him. There's so much buried. Anyway, we will see you next time. I've been your humble host, Meetra. This has been Zenna Paloe. You can find the rest of this on Patreon or on YouTube at the channel Sulmatul. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Behind the Banthas is a production of Corellian Zone Media. For more from Corellian Zone Media, visit our HoloNet archive at patreon.com/Sulmatul or check us out on YouTube.